Alright, in this video I'm finally going to be fixing the door handles on my Nissan Pathfinder. I've seen other Nissans with this problem, but I've definitely seen Pathfinders. And you can see the handle's good. There's just like a little plastic cover that covers where the door lock is, and that is broken off. The other side it's still there, but it's very loose. So this is the piece that broke off. And you can see there's not too much to it. I couldn't find the driver's side at the scrapyard, but I saw they had a black Nissan Pathfinder at the scrapyard, so I did get the passenger side one, and I'm going to fix the passenger side one. You can see there it is loose with the actual piece, and then for the driver's side one I'm going to use 2-part epoxy to glue it into place. Now the first thing I do is take off that rubber grommet, and then I'm going to use a Torx bit, and it is a T25 to remove the bolt that's holding in this little piece of plastic. Now be careful with the screw, because you don't want it to fall down inside your door. There seems to be a little piece of plastic in there that holds the screw in place, but I also used a magnet to make sure it didn't drop all the way down into the door, because that would suck. Here's the passenger one. You can see that it was really just being held in there kind of by luck. And here's the one I got from the scrapyard, and it was $6. I think Nissan wants like $250, and they only sell it as a whole handle or something ridiculous. Anyway, significantly more than $6. So that's the difference in what these things look like. So very easy to replace, but it is difficult to find. And I think for stuff like this, the scrapyard's your best choice, but it is difficult to find the make, model, year, and color of your vehicle. So just take the screwdriver, screw that thing back in, and then put that little rubber gasket back in place, and there you go. Now, one thing I would say is that piece of plastic is a little bit different colored, and I'll show that at the end, but I got it off a 2009 and mine's a 2012, so maybe that makes a difference. And for the other side here, on the driver's side, what I'm using is 2-part epoxy, and then I took a chocolate milk container out of the garbage, and then a stick, because I'm a professional here, and I mix up that 2-part epoxy. It's pretty much the last I had in that container, and then I'm going to use the stick to really thoroughly spread it on this piece. Now I'm really putting the epoxy on thick here, and the only thing I really need to make sure is that none of the epoxy runs out from behind, because obviously you're not going to want a big epoxy ball of snot running down your door. So put it in place, allow the epoxy to sort of slump onto that metal piece, and then you really just want to make sure that it doesn't go into the keyhole. Not that I've actually ever used the keyhole, because it has obviously a battery operated key fob. And then as it's drying, I just make sure that there's no epoxy that's running out of it or that's running into the area where the key goes. So over the next couple of minutes, I just come back a few times while the epoxy is curing and make sure that it doesn't get screwed up. And then obviously I got a little bit on the paint, but I just take my shirt, wipe it off, no problem. And there we go, that's back in place. And then obviously the passenger side one is good to go because it's a brand new piece of plastic. So now obviously it looks a lot better. If you're driving around and you don't have that little piece of plastic, it is pretty easy to fix, but you might need to go to a scrapyard. And there you can see the old one is a little bit darker than the new one, but if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't really notice. And I'm going to use some Armor All or something and see if I could improve the darkness on the one I got from the scrapyard. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.